at some point I'm going to want to move back in with you. And that was like, wow. Well, I couldn't imagine my dad moving in with me.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So I've helped hundreds and hundreds of families move. I've been doing this for 21 plus years. And I've got to tell you, the hardest and probably the saddest one I did for me personally was helping my father make his move. And what surprised me most wasn't the logistics, it was the sadness. I still feel it today. And my dad's been moved for almost 3 years. Houses aren't just walls. I mean, they are, right? And they're not. When I moved my dad, it wasn't even the house I grew up in or the house that I could call my childhood home. It was his home, my stepmother's home. It was their space that they shared together, and we would visit. And sure, there was memories in there. It just wasn't, I don't know, it just wasn't, the sadness wasn't about that. It just is, it was about the fact that my dad was leaving, my stepmother was going, that life was changing, that the reality of everything was going to be very different. And I have to be really transparent. I didn't even see my dad very often. He was busy, he had retired, and he was busy with my stepmom. He was doing his life, and we were doing ours. We were just up the freeway from each other. I'm in San Dimas, he was in Yorba Linda. I have 4 sons, they were all young, busy doing things. And then it happened. My stepmother got dementia. And life got different. Things had to change. My dad needed support. And so it took him to having to relocate to Oregon. I remember the day to my house. It was really challenging the day he came over to my house because he said, "Babe, I've got to tell you." He said, "Can we talk? Can we go in the backyard?" And I was like, what the heck does this? My dad doesn't do this. And so he did. We went into the backyard. I sat down. My dad's eyes teared up and he said, "I think I need to move." And I looked at him like, oh, okay. And he said, "I have to move to Oregon to be closer to your stepsister, my stepmother's daughter." I said, "Okay, I understand. She needs to be there to support him." I mean, there was such sadness in his eyes, and my heart was hurting because I knew this is what would have to happen. I mean, it was a real change, a real shift in power. Aging was setting in, and now I'm seeing it. And a chapter was closing. It was quiet grief. It really was. It felt like, well, it reminded me of the day that we left my dad's house when I was a young girl. It took me back to that place. Additionally, I would add that my dad said, when all this change comes to a finish, at some point I'm going to want to move back in with you. And that was like, wow. Well, I couldn't imagine my dad moving in with me. I couldn't imagine. He is so super clean. And let me be real. I am messy clean. Do you know what that means? I mean, okay, maybe you don't. I know what that means. And I knew that my super clean dad and my messy clean family, well, those two are just gonna have to figure out how to live together. And well, that was going to be a whole different ball game that, well, sooner or later we'll get to when he comes back. So I'm not even going to think about that right now. It'll probably be a whole new podcast episode for you. I must say, though, this is why I believe real estate isn't just transactional. It's transformative. It's transitional. You're not just moving property. I'm really stewarding people in chapters of their lives. And that can be, well, it's very emotional. That's for sure. So I encourage you when you're going through this shift, because so many of you are right now, you're going through the shift of, oh no, I got my mom's house, she's gone, and now I have to deal with everything that is in this house. And maybe you have supportive family members, maybe you have supportive sisters and brothers who are helping you make this shift, who are helping you work through this opportunity. I don't know, maybe you are, maybe you don't. I do know this. The hardest move was moving my parents, moving my dad, even moving my mom. I mean, I didn't have to sell her house. I just had to move her from one location to another. And let me tell you, on the lighter side of life, my mama had stuff and I had a hill to take her stuff down and run back up. And I ain't no young girl anymore. And my mom and I had a talk about all the stuff she has and living on hillsides and moving stuff back and forth. So I encourage you to consider hiring a professional when you do move your parents. Moving my dad, that was so hard because with that said, I mean, I told my dad, because he made excuse after excuse after excuse on why he couldn't do it. And then he would say, I have to do it. And it was just the circle we were going in. I just talked with another family about this, and she's in the same circle right now. I need to move. Oh, wait a minute. No, not yet. I'm not going to move yet. Well, let me tell you, it's very challenging because the circle must happen. And at some point, you exit the circle and make the move. At some point, you do what is necessary to make the move. And it takes time and it takes energy in order to help my dad make that move, do his shift. I said, Father, pack up 2 suitcases, one for you, one for her. Put yourselves on a plane and get your bottoms to Oregon. That's it. He wasn't going to be able to do all the rest of the stuff. That's what he had us for, his family. And to top it off, I was his realtor. So guess what? I could do all of that for him. I have plenty of experience in it. I've done it for many other clients. He had to decide when it was time to go, though. So did he run in circles? Heck, yes, he did. Did he say, I gotta go and then not go? Sure, he did. You gotta let them make their plan. I mean, every day I handle buyers and sellers who say, I want to move. Well, no, not yet. I've got to sell. No, well, not yet. I want to do this. I want to buy a home. Well, no, not yet. It's the same thing as your moms and dads. It's the same thing, whether it's your aunt or uncle, your mom or your dad. Whoever it be, whatever you're struggling with, Just know that that's part of the process. You need to trust the process. They're going to need to move and not move. And at some point, they're going to pack 2 bags, get on a plane, and make that move. And then I come along and then start the process of clearing out the house. Whew, was that really hard? Because I was making the decisions on what was going to be shipped to him and what was going to stay. What was going to be shipped to her and what was going to stay. I made the decisions about where everything was going to go, how we would dispose of what needed to be disposed of, and how we would store what needed to be stored, and then what we could gift away to others. I was so grateful that I had family to come around and support me during this time, because let me tell you, the garage is something else. And I know I mentioned and called my dad and I said, Dad, what are we doing about the garage? And he said, well, you're gonna just have to handle it because, well, I don't know. I can't take any of it. So I made the decisions and I did the work. How did I decide to handle the garage? Well, luckily I had a husband who was very in tune with my dad and who he was, so my husband handled it. And my brother jumped in there and took what he could take. And it was handled. And we shipped 2 containers to my dad for all his goodies, and we drove his car out there, and we made the move. And was it easy? No. And did it make sense? Yes, we had to do it. It was part of the process. So you have to allow your parents to mourn, express their emotions, feel their loss. They're going to sit in scarcity, and then they're going to move to abundance, and then they're going to get right back down in scarcity. It's just part of the process. It's what happens when you're moving. I mean, I wasn't emotionally connected to this house. I was emotionally connected to my dad. I still am. I'm so grateful that I had my experience to draw from while helping him so I could help him make informed decisions. And that's what you, as the supporting piece to the family member who is deciding to relocate, that's what you need to be for them. Just be there so they can share their emotions, their ups and their downs of the journey, the maybe I will, maybe I won't perspective. And then when they finally do, you can celebrate the move and feel the sadness of it too. Because it will be there. There will be sadness. There will be loss. There will be grief. There will be confusion. And then there will be a new chapter, a new journey, a new beginning. During the process, you need to also remember your parents' dignity is so important. When they're indecisive about what needs to happen next, they need for you to be strong for them. They need for you to support them during that time, to hear them, to let them know you've got their back. I highly encourage you when you're working through a big move like this. I mean, these people potentially have lived in their house 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. It's not easy. It's not a transaction. It is a transformation. And you need to honor that. Sometimes leadership doesn't look like confidence. Sometimes it looks like carrying the emotional weight quietly. And if you're helping a parent transition, I see you. I've done it myself. And the transition, the transformation for my dad and his journey, well, it's not even over yet. I'm sure he's coming back real soon to spend some time right at home with me. And that will be a whole new episode. So I'll leave you with these 3 last opportunities to help settle your mind in this. 1, be with them during the transformation. Just be present. Love on them, encourage them, and let them know, no matter their decision, it's their decision, and you're there to carry it out for them. 2, get yourself a great moving company, because moving mom and dad stuff, well, that's hard work. And 3, find yourself a fantastic agent who can feel what's happening, not just tell you what's happening. Because feelings matter more than anything else.